Hey everyone, here's that video I promised on making a rope border or any kind of rope design. The way that I start out is I use this shape here. It goes thinner to fattest in the middle and then back to the same shape that it is where you started. And there's a reason behind that that I'll get to once I go to Aspire. I'm doing this all in Adobe Illustrator. I do all my vector drawing and tracing and whatnot in there because there's so many more tools and it's much easier to manipulate and use than as in the Vectric software itself. And the subscription, it's a subscription based service. It's only, I don't know if it's $5 or $10 a month, but it's worth it because it's a full-time business for me and it makes my work go by so much faster. So back to this. So with these, you want them to overlap. So you can see this one and this one, they overlap here. You want that for a tight fit look, and you don't want like a void in here. It can look weird and when you bring it over into Aspire and make a 3D model out of it if you leave a space in there. Up here it doesn't matter, and down here it doesn't matter so much, but where you want them touching. And then when I do it in here, that's another reason. When you create this shape, I use the rotate tool, and there's a whole, it's not a hard process, but there's a process between getting these to go around this circle like so and line up right. I haven't had much luck in Aspire. I can make them go around the circle, but they don't follow, this same uh, way it's oriented. So once that's done and you've made this shape with all these touching, you bring it over into Aspire. So you don't even have to save it out as an SVG. You can just save that Illustrator file and bring it in um, under the drawing tab with import vectors, which I did over here. But it's got these two extra lines that I didn't need, so I copied it over here and deleted those lines. So I'll show you what this looks like by itself and the reasoning behind that you want this shape. Because Vectric does some, I wouldn't call it weird, but it does some things on its own. Um, and there's a reason that I do it the way I do. So if you look at this, there's another one over there. It's highest at the middle and lowest points are on the outsides. The reason that is because your highest points when you're creating a shape with the create shape tool and any of these here, but mainly your curved ones, it's going to be at its highest point at the thickest point of that vector. So you can see here with the grayscale, the tallest point is in here, and then it slopes down towards the outside. And I just happened chanced on this when I was messing around trying to figure this out on my own, um, that's how it worked. But that really comes in handy when you're creating this shape. So let me find, so there's that. And I put all my sketches, another little thing, on, or vectors, on different layers here. You have different layers or levels. These are levels, each one of these, and these are layers. It just helps to be able to turn off sketches, because when you start getting a whole bunch of stuff in there, it just gets all, it's a mess. So that's one thing that I do to keep my stuff separated and somewhat organized. So we'll go back here, I'll reiterate this, that these are overlapping. Okay, so when you select these, you're going to come over to your create shape. It works both ways with add to previous or merge highest points, doesn't matter, not for this right now. So you can come over to your shape tool and you'll set your heights. This can change your look a lot too on how high the height is, and then also the angle here, but for now it's not that big of a deal. So you have all those selected and then you hit apply, and this only works, if I remember right, I'll go back and switch the option here in a second, with the shape profile like one of these. It does not work with the flat profile, but you can see how that turned out. It's the higher here, and then when it slopes down, it kind of looks like they're weaved. So if you go here, and I'll show you that it doesn't work. It just does not work with this flat profile, but it works with the curved, it works with the angular, all of them. So depending on what you're trying to do, you know, and the look you're going after, you know, even if you don't want it to look exactly like a rope, but this also changes like the roundness of it and kind of how thick it looks. And then you come over here and you change your shape heights, and it'll also give it a different look. So it's more flattened out, more fat. Let's go a little bit higher than we had it before. See? Just depends what look you're after. But that's how I do my ropes. And then I'll do another video eventually and show you how you can kind of throw this on something like a skin, or if you're trying to weave up and over stuff, there's a process behind that. But this is the how to make a rope in Aspire.